Good afternoon, all. Yesterday lecture we had discussed with the most acceptable model of the DNA. From that we will continue with it. Now here one end is 5 prime to 3 prime and one strand is in opposite direction 3 prime to 5 prime. You know that ये चला बचा दिया. The most acceptable model of DNA was given by Watson and Crick. Yesterday lectures revision, just only 2 sentences are there. Figure of 8 means one helix of DNA. Okay, see here the length of one helix is 34 angstrom. So the wall length is 34 angstrom. This is only I am talking about the one helix. In one helix, you know that 1 angstrom means 10 raised to minus 10 meter. So otherwise you say that 340 nanometer also. Both are right. Okay. One helix. This all the points are for one helix. And what we are talking about here, this is the bDNA. Okay. The most acceptable model, that is bDNA. So all these rules are of bDNA. So in one helix, 10 nitrogen base pairs are present. 10 nitrogen base pairs. So one pair means 2. So here 20 nitrogen bases are present. Both are also right. So here distance between two successive nitrogen base pairs is 3.4 angstrom. Okay, so here you know that, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each red transverse line indicates one nitrogen base pair. So here total 10 nitrogen base pairs are there. So here in between two successive nitrogen base pair, the distance is 3.4 angstrom. Okay, so now you calculate, it is very easy. Between two successive nitrogen base pair, 3.4 angstrom distance is there. So 3.4 multiplied with 10 base pairs, 34 angstrom distance is there. Okay, next is one helix. Yes, continued here. Width is 20 angstrom. Okay, dear all students, pay attention here. The length of the DNA is whatever, but width is same. See, yesterday you know that double helical spirally attached together. So width is same in wall length of the DNA. Fine. So width is 20 angstrom. Now, this is the very important point. Two successive nitrogen base pairs are attached with each other at angle 36 degree. So one nitrogen base pair in whatever angle. So exactly after 36 degree. Okay, another nitrogen base pair is there. Okay, so what happened here? The 10 nitrogen base pairs are attached together at every 36 degree, then 360 degree, and yes, one wall circle is over. So one helix means wall one circle, and in that 10 nitrogen base pairs, and each nitrogen base pair attached together at the angle 36 degree. Fine. So this is the most important point. Now here we are talking about the DNA. So you revised, pressurized your mind. In DNA, uracil is absent. So here 4 nitrogen base pairs are there. So in ddNA, uracil is absent. So in bDNA, adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine are present. You know that adenine and guanine are purines. Cytosine and thymine are pyrimidines. Okay. Adenine and guanine are purines. Cytosine and thymine are pyrimidine. Now, purine cannot attach with purine. Pyrimidine cannot attach with pyrimidine, but purine is attached with pyrimidine. Okay, so here in DNA molecule purine is attached with pyrimidine by weak hydrogen bonds. Now you remember this. Adenine always attached with thymine with two weak hydrogen bonds. Okay. Adenine is attached with thymine with two weak hydrogen bonds and cytosine with guanine. Sorry, here one side I will write the cytosine and another side I will write the guanine. With three weak hydrogen bonds. Okay, so this is very important. Adenine attached with thymine with two weak hydrogen bonds and guanine attached with cytosine with three weak hydrogen bonds. It is fixed. Now this is purine part and this is pyrimidine part. Next is number of adenine is equal to number of thymine. Yes, જેટલા adenine છે એટલા જ thymine આવશે. Same way. જેટલા guanine છે, the number of guanine is equal to number of cytosine. But here, see, adenine and thymine total number of adenine and thymine does not is equal to cytosine and guanine. Number of adenine and thymine is not equal to cytosine and guanine, but is it right? See, think about. Yes. A plus T does not is equal to C plus G, but A plus G is equal to T plus G. So A plus G means total number of purines equal to total number of pyrimidines. Okay. Along with this, A plus T upon C plus G ratio is same for individual organism of same species. Yes, A plus T upon C plus G ratio is same for individual, for only one organism for same species. When species will change, the species will change, then ratio is also change. Another point, A plus G upon T plus C ratio is always 1 for all organisms. Okay, A plus G, number of purines, the ratio of number of purines and the ratio of pyrimidines always 1. Okay, so this is about the remaining information of most acceptable model of the DNA, that is BDNA. And these all are known as Edwin-Chargaff rule. From here to here, Edwin-Chargaff rule. Okay, so from my side, the whole information of the DNA is completed. Please note down this information carefully. This will come in 12th standard in genetics. Okay, so many MCQs are asked. Fine. Okay, let's see. Yesterday we had stopped at the page number 151. Nucleic acid exhibit a wide variety of secondary structures. For example, one of the secondary structure exhibited by DNA is famous Watson and Crick model. This model says that DNA exists a double helix. The two strands of the polynucleotide chain are antiparallel. That means run in opposite direction. The backbone is formed by the sugar-phosphate-sugar chain. See, this is known as backbone. Both the strands, the main proportion in the both the strands, it is known as backbone. Backbone is formed by phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, like that. And you know that the sugar is in front of each other. That sugar consists nitrogen base pair. So centermost portion of the DNA that consists nitrogen base. So here whole blue strand that is known as backbone, and that backbone is made up of phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, like that. Nitrogen bases are projected more or less perpendicular. Yes, all are not perpendicular, but more or less perpendicular together to this backbone, but face inside. Okay, so from both the strands, nitrogen bases are facing towards each other, and you know that if in one strand adenine is there. So in opposite strand it is confirmed that thymine is present. And it is also confirmed that adenine and thymine in between that two weak hydrogen bonds. Yes, if you think little bit more, then both the DNA strands are joined together and maintained in its position by weak hydrogen bonds. Why here I had given the word weak hydrogen bonds? Because if you give the little bit amount of heat energy to the DNA, this weak bonds broken down. And due to the breaking of the weak bonds, two DNA strands are separate from each other. Yes, we are able to separate the two strands of the DNA. A and G of one strand compulsorily base pairs with T and C respectively. Again, A and G of the one strand is compulsorily attached with T and C respectively. On the other strand, opposite side, there are two added weak two hydrogen bonds between A and T, and there are three hydrogen bonds between C and G. Each strand appears like a helical staircase. You know the spiral staircase. If you see the one helix, it is look like this. And opposite strand, another strand is there. Each step of ascent is represented by pair of bases. So each and every steps can represent the specific base pair. At each step of ascent, the strand turns 36 degrees. That's why I have given here the idea that the two successive nitrogen base pairs are attached at 36 degrees. One full turn of the helical strand would involve 10 steps or 10 base pairs. And in this way, the whole circle in one helix is completed. Attempt drawing the line diagram, the pitch would be 34 angstrom. So 34 angstrom is the full length of the one helix of the DNA. The rise per base pair would be 3.4 angstrom. This form the DNA with above mentioned salient features known as BDNA. So everything information here we have discussed right now, that is of BDNA. And yes, Ewing-Chargaff rule, it is also applicable for only BDNA, not for others. Fine. In higher classes, you will be told that there are more than a dozen forms of DNA named after English alphabets with unique structures and features. So that I will tell you in NEET exam, that there are so many types of DNA. Yesterday lecture I had told to you that A, B, C, D and Z type. You have to remember this only 5 types, but not more than that. That I will tell you in NEET lecture. So according to my side, the detailed information of the DNA, that is over. Now the next topic, dynamic state of body constituents, concept of metabolism. Here in first chapter we discussed with metabolic processes. Metabolic process can consist anabolic and catabolic. Let's see what we have learned till now is that living organisms, be it a simple bacterial cell, protozoan, plant or an animal, contain thousands of organic compounds. If we study the bacteria to the higher multicellular complex organism mammal, so bacteria, protozoa, plants, animals, whatever organism, living organism we study, that consists thousands of organic compounds. These compounds or biomolecules are present in certain concentrations, expressed in moles per cells or moles per liter. This is the unit for amount of the organic component present in particular organism. Once of the greatest discoveries ever made was the observation that all these biomolecules have a turnover. This means that, what is the meaning of turnover? They are constantly being changed into some other biomolecules and also made from some other biomolecules. Yes. So if you think about any specific biomolecule, it is converted into other molecule, or sometime this biomolecule is formed from other molecule. That's why, if you have remembered, I have given the idea that we have metabolic traffic in our body. Okay. This breaking and making is through chemical reactions constantly occurring in the living organism. So, making mechanism and breaking mechanism. You know that making mechanisms are also known as anabolic activities, and breaking activities are known as catabolic activities. And anabolic and catabolic activities are combinedly known as metabolic activities. Together of this, all chemical reactions are metabolism. Each of the metabolic reactions result in the transformation of biomolecules. Few examples for such metabolic transformations are removal of carbon dioxide from amino acid, making a amino acid into amine. So if you convert amino acid into amine, think about the structure of the amino acid. In amino acid, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen is there. So if amino acid is converted into amine, carbon dioxide is released. Removal of amino group in a nucleotide base. Hydrolysis of glycosidic bond in disaccharide. Breakdown of the, yes, yesterday I had told to you that maltose, think about, the maltose is formed by dehydration. Maltose is formed by dehydration process after joining of the two glucose molecules. So if you add the water molecule in maltose, but here remember, to break down of the maltose, maltase enzyme is required. So maltase take the water molecule, edit it at a glycosidic bond, and as a result glycosidic bond is broken down, and as a result maltose is converted into two molecules of glucose. Yes, in this way each and every molecule hydrolysis occurs. Fine. See, hydrolysis of the glycosidic bond in disaccharide, etc. We can list tens or thousands of such examples. હું તમને એમ કહું કે મેટાબોલિક પ્રોસેસનું એક આખું લિસ્ટ બનાવો તો તમે 10 મિનિમમ તો 10 રિએક્શન્સ તમે લખી શકશો right now, all of you, and someone can form the large list also. So there are so many metabolic processes occur inside our body. Majority of these metabolic reactions do not occur in isolation but are always linked to some other reactions. Yes. Similarly, particular individual organism cannot live independently. Can we live independently? No. We have to depend for food or whatever requires substance to maintain our life. We have to depend on microbes or animals or on the plants. Yes, if you think about it, plants are autotrophs. Yes, without animals the plants can live? No. Think about it. The plants require animals for pollination. After pollination, the fruit, flower, seeds are developed. Without plants, animals can live? No way. So, no organism can live independently. Similarly, in our body, no any particular reaction can occur independently. It has relation with other reaction also. Suppose example, digestion. Digestion can done independently? No. Think about. For transforming the food, muscular system is required. Muscles are there. To churning the food, muscles are required. To give the message, nervous system is required. Nervous system gives the message to the gland. As a result, the gland can secrete the enzyme, can secrete the juice, and juice consists enzymes. Specific enzymes are secreted. So no any particular process can be completed independently. So here similarly, each and every metabolic process has relation with other metabolic process also. In other words, metabolites, the substance which are used in metabolic process is known as metabolites, are converted into each other in series of linked reactions called as metabolic pathways. So you revise that amphibolic pathway. Amphibolic pathway, you think about that each and every molecule is interconverted together. This metabolic pathway are similar into automobile traffic in the city. Yes. કોઈ પણ ટ્રાફિક, કોઈ પણ સિટીમાં ટ્રાફિક હોય તો કયું વેહિકલ ક્યાં જવાનું છે એ કોઈને ખબર નથી. Similar to like this, according to the requirement of the body, each and every physiological process, metabolic process occurs inside our body. And જેમ automobile traffic in the city, similarly we have metabolic traffic in our body. That's why in eukaryotic organisms it is very difficult. In eukaryotic organisms it is very difficult to identify particular metabolic process. These pathways are either linear or circular. These pathways crisscross each other. That is, there are traffic junctions. Yes, each and every process has ending with particular product. Flow of metabolites through metabolic pathway has a definite rate and direction like automobile traffic. This metabolite flow is called as dynamic state of the body constituents. What is most important is that this interlinked metabolic traffic is very smooth and without a single reported mishap for healthy condition. It is very smooth process and no any harmful effects are created in normal metabolic process. Another feature of this metabolic reactions is every chemical reaction is catalyzed reaction. There is no uncatalyzed metabolic conversion in living organisms. Yes, each and every metabolic process is catalytic in nature. Even CO2 dissolves in water is a physical process, is catalyzed reaction in living system. Yes, in our body, the CO2 is bind with water and form the carbonic acid. If you have remember, we had discussed this in 17th chapter. After the end of the each and every metabolic process, carbon dioxide is released. Released carbon dioxide is now binds with water and then carbonic acid is formed. This is also catabolic reaction. The catalyst which has the rate of given metabolic conversion are also proteins. So many catabolic reactions or metabolic reactions can be controlled by specific proteins. These proteins with catalytic power are known as enzymes. So now we are discussing the enzymes, metabolic basics for living. Metabolic pathway can lead to more complex structure from the similar structure. For example, acetic acid become cholesterol or lead to